There has never been an easier time to become a leader in corporate America. I know that sounds confusing, but there's never been a time that it has been easier to become a manager, a leader, an executive in the corporate infrastructure in the United States of America. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about how I was able to become a leader at 27, become a leader in 4 different markets now by the time I was 36, and become a VP over a $10 million part of the organization, all by implementing these 3 simple things at every single place that I've been. And I'm going to teach you how to do it. They're easier than you think. They are more effective than you think. And believe me, nobody is doing them consistently. And so if you apply these things, your path towards leadership will skyrocket, your runway will be exponentially longer, and you're going to get the attention of the people you need to get the attention of in order to get to the place where you are the obvious next choice for the promotion that you may want. So the first thing is very simple. The first thing is you have to make it known, and everyone's got to know. Everyone's got to know you want to be a leader. Everyone's got to understand the why behind you wanting to be a leader. And believe it or not, not everybody assumes that you want to be that next person, that you want to be the person promoted. Nobody's going to assume that. And so very rarely are they going to tap people on the shoulder that haven't expressed interest or proactively asked questions or shown traits that they want to be the next leader. So step number 1 is you got to let everybody know. Let your boss know, let your coworkers know, let other leaders in the organization know. Make sure that they understand that you have a passion for leadership, you want to be the next person promoted, and then ask them, hey, what would you do if you wanted to be the next person that was the obvious choice to be promoted in this company, in this organization? And then do what they tell you. Right? Do what they tell you. They may ask you to read some books. They may ask you to do some stretch assignments. They may ask you to reach out to other colleagues for feedback and advice. Whatever it is they ask you to do to make it an obvious choice for you to be the next up to bat, do those things. Sounds simple. Nobody's doing it. Everyone's sitting on the sidelines hoping and wishing and praying that somebody thinks that they're the obvious choice. But believe it or not, saying that you want to be the next leader, speaking up and making your intentions and your career path desires known, step number 1, makes all the difference. Step number 2, make sure that you have a development plan in place to grow as a leader. Now notice I didn't say grow in your skill set. So let's use an example. If I am working as a plumber today and I want to be the manager of the service guys, the technicians that go out in the field, I know plumbing inside and out, but I may not know how to lead people. I may not understand how to do scheduling. I may not understand what bookkeeping looks like. I may not understand what billing needs to look like. All of those things may go into the manager of the service techs, and so those are skills you're going to need to learn. Make sure you have a growth plan that you can implement as you're doing your day-to-day job that stretches you in the capacity of leadership. Everyone that is good at their job is good at that job. And so unless you are intentional about being good at the next job, right, you're not going to be prepared for when the opportunity comes and you become the obvious choice. So step number 2 is get a growth path to become a better leader, not just a better employee. Big thing to do. Easy thing to do. Yes, it's going to take time. It's going to take extra time after hours. It's going to take extra effort. It's going to take more intentionality. It's going to take you stretching yourself. All of those things are exactly what your boss is looking for, to look for the next person to promote within the organization. Do that, you're going to set yourself leaps and bounds ahead of the competition. And when you get that next position, you're going to be even more ready to be successful right out of the gate. The third thing, probably the most important, the third thing is making sure that you're aware of what they are looking for in that next person. So I know this sounds obvious, but so many people just hope that they guess right, and they think they know their boss or their leader or their executive board enough that they know what they're looking for. Ask the question. Don't assume. Inquire. What would you look for? What kind of things do you need to see in the next person to make them shine beyond anybody else? Maybe it's a skill set. Maybe it's communication. Maybe it's more time. Maybe it's different capacities within the organization. Maybe it's willing to relocate. There's all kinds of things that your organization knows that are within your reach, but you got to ask the question. So don't assume, inquire. Mr. or Mrs. Manager, if I wanted to be promoted within the organization in the next 6 to 12 months, what would you need to see from me for me to be the obvious next choice, for me to step up to that next level of leadership or manager role, whatever those things are, right? So recap: number one, make it known that you want to be a leader. Number two, have a growth path. And you can ask people, what should my growth path be? You don't have to know that, right? So ask your leader, ask your boss, hey, what's a good growth path? Ask people that have been promoted in the organization, what's your growth path? So number one, make it known you want to be a leader. Number two, create a growth path for yourself and stick to it, right? And number three, inquire of your current leadership, what do they need to see to make you the obvious next choice to be the next leader in that organization. I promise you, if you follow those 3 steps and execute on them, if you set yourself up to be the obvious person up next, I'm telling you, executive leadership in corporate America today has never been easier to attain. If you do the simple things and are willing to make yourself vulnerable to your leadership and your coworkers, and you're willing to do the work to stretch yourself in the areas that they point you to, you're the next leader. Go get it.